Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second session of Android Study Jams. And today we are going to discuss about more fundamental where we uh, dig deeper into the Kotlin fundamentals. Um, in the last session, we have covered the functions, variables, null safety or the null functions and variables, classes, generic classes, and inheritance. Today, we're going to cover control flow state. Um, and while we begin, first we have when statement. But last in the last session, like someone asked me, what's the difference between to and onto? Uh, to is used to return a pair where you can it returns the value from the beginning value to the end values. That is from this value to that value, or the value which you have specified. And the onto function is an infix function. Basically, infix functions are called without using any curly braces or any period, that is the dot symbol which we use to call a method or a function. And these infix functions or methods, they look more like natural language. So that is the difference. And uh, in playground, um, is my screen? Can someone share, just respond yes or no in the chat? Okay, thank you, Sharon. Okay. So control flow statements are basically which tell us how the control of a function is passed or a control of a method is passed from another. Like how the program flow goes on, like how the condition flow goes on. So the first control flow statement we have is the when statement. In Kotlin, uh, we use when statement instead of switch statement because it is more flexible and clear. It can be used when can be used either as a statement or as an expression. So what is the difference between a statement or an expression? Can anyone guess? Any guesses? Like what is the difference between a statement and an expression? Just okay then, no issue. I'll tell you. So an expression is nothing. It can produce a value, and that value can be passed to a function. Okay, so an expression is nothing but it gives you a value. Statements are which are the ones which don't produce a value. So so they can't be used as function arguments. Okay. So I'll tell you the both implementations of the when as an expression as well as a statement. So we'll just see how when can be used as statement and an expression. So has everyone opened your Kotlin playground? Can someone respond yes or no in chat? If you couldn't, I'll just wait for a moment. If yes, we'll continue. Thank you, Shravani. Oh, so first we'll write a function called cases, and that will pass a variable object of any, and we will start the when loop. So the syntax is when of the variable, and then we start writing the function here. So uh, first you give one, for suppose let's give one, and just try to print if the object, when you give like this, that means it checks whether the object or the variable you have given is 1. If it is 1, then it will print 1. And I will just give hello. So if the object is hello, then it will print, let's say it's a greeting. So greeting. And we can also do type checking. That is, we can check whether the written type, I mean, we can check the written type also. So we'll check like E is long. If it is long, then we print it as long. And then we can also do reverse type, inverse type, I mean, that is the reverse type checking or the inverse type checking. That is if it is not equals to, that is not is, if it is not string, then you can just print it is not a string. If none of this case is satisfied, you can print a default one, that is else print unknown. So in Kotlin, you would give like, you will give the condition, and if the condition is satisfied, condition, an arrow, and then print whatever you want. And this is type check. If it is long, then print that it is long. And inverse type checking is if it is not string, then print that it's not a string. You can also specify default condition like else. If none of the conditions are satisfied, then you just print it. Could you do it till here? Okay. We'll write the main function. Okay, function name, and in that cases is our function. So in cases function, will pass these values. So this is here it is called a constructor. So cases of hello and cases one, cases of let's type something 0 or 10, and cases uh, hello. Okay, now let's run this. So here, so first I've passed hello. It will check whether hello matches any of the conditions. While checking, it checks in the sequential order, like in this format. First, it checks the first condition. If it is not true, it goes to the second one. So here, hello. It is it is a, I mean, the condition is satisfied. So it will print greeting. And next it goes to case number one. So one, it is satisfied by this. So it prints one here. And then I've passed 0L. L here indicates it is long. So type checking here. First it checks this condition. It is not satisfied. Then moves on to the next one and then third one. So it checks whether E is long. So it is satisfied. It prints long. And then I give this hello. It matches none of these conditions. So the default condition is printed like unknown. Okay. So this is how we write when statement, uh, and we'll next see how to use when as an expression. So this is all statement. Okay, could everyone do this or was it too fast? Can someone respond in the chat? I can just see Shravani responding. What about the others? Are you there? Yeah. Could you do it, Meghna? Did you do this? Whatever I've shown? Okay, good. So let's move on to the when expression. Um, Now let's clear this. Now, we have just learned that a statement doesn't return a value, but an expression does. So we'll create a function called when assign, and we'll also give the variable as obj and then of any, and then any. Now we'll take since it has to return a value, we'll create a variable. Here it is the of val type, and the variable name will be result, and the condition when of the variable obj. And now we'll give the conditions. One, then just print one, and if it is hello, then just print one. Here, this means that here it sets the value to 1 if object equals to 1. And here it sets the value to 1 if object equals to hello. The 1 in the previous condition is this. And if the object equals to hello, it will return this integer 1. I mean, it equals to the integer 1. Okay, next one, the type checking condition. If it is long, then just equal to false, or then it sets the value to false. It sets the value to false if the object is long. And if none of these conditions match, then else just give some, okay, random number 25. Then we move on to, okay. So the difference between the previous when and this one is that this is used as an expression. So it needs to return a result in the end. So return result. Okay, now time for main function. And how do we, in this main function, we pass values to our constructor. I mean, the constructor here when assigned. So println when assign of, we need to pass a value. Wait, let me pass, okay, again hello, and then println when assign of, um let's pass so float value, okay, double value 3.1, print ln when 1, and print ln of, um what shall we pass, okay, and and okay, now we'll just run this. Here, when you just look carefully, uh, the condition is 1 is 1. So here hello doesn't match this. It matches this. So it returns 1 here. Next, I've passed 3.4. 3.4 matches none of this. So it returns 25. That is our default condition. And again, we passed 1. So it has written ONE1. And then I've given this Android, and it doesn't match any of these conditions, so it has written this value 25. So the previous one we didn't assign it to any value because it was a statement. But here in the when expression, it returns a value, like we've given a value and we are returning the result. So that is the difference. Uh, Previous code. Which code do you want, Meghna? When statement one or expression one? Or shall I just again show this? Okay. Mhm. Tell me when it's completed? Okay. Then let's move on to the next one then. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is everyone doing? Okay. So let's move on to loops. In any other programming languages, yeah, is everyone able to understand? Okay. So, like in any other programming language, we have for, while, and do while loops, even in Kotlin. So, for loop works in the same way like it works in other languages. Like the syntax is, for suppose if we create a variable called cakes, I mean of val type, and pass a list of function. Let's say carrots and then cheese and chocolate. So this is the list I've created, and we'll take a for loop for the variable cakes in the range is also the cakes for cakes and cakes for some variable in the range or the max value. Then what will we print? Print ln uh, yum. It's uh which cake, like I'm telling the flavor. So dollar the cake. Oh sorry. This is not cakes. For for some variable cake in the list called cakes. So this is cake and then this cake. So let's see what does it print. Okay. So how many times does it print? Thrice because the range of our list is 3. So it is checking for some variable cake in the range cakes. So it is checking like and returning all the 3 values in the list. So for the carrots and for the cheese and for chocolate. So it has written 3 statements. Did you understand? Like it's the normal for loop you use in the other programming languages. Like it's just the same. Did you do this? Okay. Um, Now let's move on to while loop and do while loop. Um, while loop also like you specify the condition and then implement it. It's the same syntax. It's nearly the same syntax like we do in the other programming languages also. So we'll just see how does it work in Kotlin here. The syntax, it's almost similar. Um, so we'll create a function. So we'll focus mainly on some cakes because who doesn't love food and who doesn't love cakes? So we'll just take eat a cake, a function, and we'll just print scroll right. Okay. The pre Meghna, is it the for loop one? Okay, just a minute. Okay. Uh, to the right there is just a bracket, that's it, a closing parenthesis. List of cakes. Okay, this, is it fine now? Yes. It's a predefined function in Kotlin. The list. You can create a list using the list of function. Just respond in the chat if you're done. Okay, good, Meghna, that you're trying. Now while, so we'll just create a function, eat cake or some, just a simple function, and then print that it's eat the cake, and another function, and that is bake a cake. When you want to eat, you need to bake. So that is bake a cake. Okay, now we'll move on to the main function. Um, there we'll create a variable of var and create a variable named cakes eaten. For suppose if they are 0, then another variable cakes baked, and we'll just initialize to 0 while of are variables, cakes, eaten. If they are less than some, we'll give a condition if they are less than 6, then we'll call this function, function eat a cake, and we'll increment this variable cakes eaten plus plus. Now we'll see how does do while work. So do in do while. So in while, first we check this condition and then we execute this block of code. Whereas in do, first we execute the code and then check the condition in do while. So do bake a cake, call this function and then increment it. Okay, now you just check the condition now. After you execute the block of code, cake, cakes, sorry, cakes baked. Here, the variable we have taken cakes baked should be less than cakes eaten. This is the condition I want to check. Okay, now just run and see. Function invocation expected under some. Okay, oh, it's a typo. So, where have we done wrong? So, can anyone tell me where have I gone wrong? So, did you people write this code? Okay, let me check. So, in this function main, we need to mention that the arguments of array type and so okay. Okay, so we have done the mistake over here. Wait a minute. So instead of incrementing the variable called cakes baked, we call this class. So now I've got it. So did you people get it? Like where we have gone wrong? So instead of calling, instead of incrementing the variable called cakes baked, cakes baked, we've incremented this construct. So that's why it was giving an error. So could you people do? Or is anyone still doing? If anyone is still doing, just put a thumbs up, or you can just say I'm still doing in the chat. What output did you get, Meghna? Like the difference is in the number, or did you give any different values or something? You can speak also, I think. Yeah, bake a cake is printed 6 times. One, two, three, four, five, six. That is the output we get. Because in do it first executes the code. So we wanted it to be printed uh, the 6 times, and then it prints it directly. Eat a cake is not printed. Um, just check it here. When while loop, so cake's even should be less than the six. Six is the value we've given, and e, and then we need to choose. Is this the code you've written? Yeah, sure. Here, the while loop and the do while loop also. Okay, thank you for implementing also. Now, in Kotlin, we have another advantage, like instead of using the conventional loops, we can also implement our own iterators. Like we can define our own iterators in our classes by implementing the iterator operator. So we'll just see how. So instead of using the conventional ones, we can just make our own loops or the iterative functions. So first we'll create a class called some animal. In that, we'll create a variable of val type, and its name is name of type string, and another class called do. In that variables variable is the animals, and we are just passing a list. Okay, so in that, oh, sorry. Mm, Now operator. So using this, uh, like for an iterator, the modifier should be operator. The modifier is operator, and we define an iterator in class. So this function, uh, the, uh, this function called iterator in iterator of animal. So this statement means we have defined uh, an iterator, or it defines an or simply defines an iterator in a class, and uh, strictly it must be named as iterator only and not anything else, and it should have the modifier as operators. Now in this we will return the variable or the ID name is animals dot iterator. So when you write this statement called return animals dot iterator function, it returns the iterator. That means the following method, like the method requirements which we have given. That is, um, it should be animal, and it should be like the next function should be of the animal, and then the has next should be of Boolean type. Okay. So next we have the main function. In main function, variable called zoo, in that we create this constructor. We call this, it's simply assign it to zoo, and we create a list using list of function. In that we will be calling animal constructor, and in that we'll be passing our values. Let's say zebra, and then again animal of uh, lion, and then we'll have this for loop for an variable called animal in the variable called zoo. So print, what should we print? So just okay, watch out. If there is an animal, a wild animal, obviously you need to be cautious. So watch out, it's a um, dollar. We'll print the animal dot name. Okay, that's it, and just run. Okay, so it has printed what's out. It's a zebra, it's a lion. So I'll just show this again. So we do it. Okay, since no one has responded, I presume that you have completed. Okay, then, and then moving on to the next one, that is the ranges. Like, how do you define ranges in Kotlin? Oh, okay. Thank you, Meghna. Thank you for being active and responding. There are set of tools for defining the ranges in Kotlin. Um, like in a for loop, till now we have seen like for some x in n or some for a variable in another variable or a range. But if we want to have a customized one or specifying the extremes by specifying the extremes of a set of values. So for that you can just use wait, create a function name in that for I in I want a range that is 0 to 5. So how do you specify a range like the by giving the extreme values, the lower bound as well as upper bound, by just specifying the lower bound value and the upper bound value and just two dots in between. So this is the syntax for specifying the range. This is one of the way, in fact. So you just print I. So let's check what does this print. Okay, so from 0, it has started till 5. So when you give it like this, it means that it is inclusive. That is, both the limits are included. The lower limit, that is 0, and the upper limit 5 is also included in the output. For suppose if I give for um, I in 0, in 0 until 3. When I say until 3, let's just print I. Oh, wait, print. Hmm. Okay, so look at this. I said print I in 0 until 3. This is exclusive. That is, it doesn't include the upper limit. It just prints the lower limit. So this means that it iterates just over a range starting from 0 until 3. Like the for loop in Python, or you can just say like this this code is equivalent to for I equals to 0, I less than 3, and I plus plus. This function is equal to this. I mean, the function it does is equal to the function at this for loop condition loop. And this can be written as for I equals to 0, I less than or equals to 5, I plus plus. Okay, this condition is same as this. Okay, and then you can also um, um, next. We have now I don't want it like this. Like this is exclusive. Now I want something like I want to specify a condition like with some difference, or I want to give a condition even in the loop. So we'll see how. So for I in 2 to 8, we'll specify step value. Step 2, and then print I. Okay, see. I need the range to be in 2 to 8, and then the step needs to be 2. That means the difference between the consecutive values needs to be 2. That is, 2 is printed first, and then the step 2 is added to the succeeding value. Then gives 4, 6, 8, and so on. So this is how it happens in step. Yeah, yeah, Meghna, you can use slash in if you wanted. But I wanted to just show the difference uh, inside, so that's why I just printed it like this. Yeah, you can use slashing also. That's not an issue. Um, and then we have so it prints like this. When you use some step value, you will be specifying a condition that is with a custom increment step for consecutive elements. Instead of incrementing it by one, it by some custom value. Next, I want it, so we are just going it in the ascending order. So now I want in the descending order or in the reverse way. So then I would just specify. So for I in 3, down to, down to keyword is used to print the elements in the reverse order. So print I. Okay. So let's run this. See. So I want the range to be till 3. I mean the maximum value needs to be 3. So from 3 to 1, 0 in reverse order. So it iterates over a range in reverse order. When I say down to 0 till 0, it stops till 0. So let's just say till 1, then it just stops till at 1. So this is how it happens. So how many types of ranges have we seen? A range which can be specified using two dots, like specifying the lower limit as well as upper limit, and then specifying a range such that that is inclusive, sorry, exclusive. This is inclusive. This is exclusive with that is excluding the upper limit value. And then using step value by telling the custom increment value, and then printing it in the reverse order. Like in that is from descending order simply. So these are the types of ranges we can use in Kotlin. Okay, very good. Yeah, super. You can just print it in the next line also. It's fine. Okay, did you complete? Did everyone complete? Okay. I can just see one person. Okay, Bharti, yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah, Shravani, good. That's it, only three. Only three are doing out of 20 attendees. Okay, let's say out of uh, like 4 or 5 or more, if I say. Okay, some out of some 15, only three are doing them. What about the remaining 12 attendees? What are they doing? Are you able to follow, or is there any problem at your end? No? Okay, Prasanna. Good to see you've responded. And so now we've seen the ranges, specifying the ranges for integer values. Now we'll see the ranges for characters. So our main function for some variable called c in be enclosing them in within single quotes. So for a, as it is two dots, specifying the range, the limits, print c. So it just prints a, b, c, d. So I'll just give till f, and it is inclusive range. So till it prints from a to f. Okay. So print and for c in some z, I want it in reverse order. So from in z, so I reverse order, keyword is down to, and the character you want, and I'm also specifying the increment. So I've merged two kinds of ranges in one. So let's see what does it return. Print C. Okay, so uh, this we can we if we observe the cat supports both step and down to as well. And one more thing from Z, it started from Z, that is the initial value, and it has continued till S, such that decreasing two alphabets Z and like decrementing two alphabets with the step, and it goes on till S. Okay, could you do this? The range for characters. And you can also use this. Okay, good. You can also use this range for even if statements. I've implemented only for, you can also try it for if statements. Now we'll move on to equality checks. That is simply the comparison. Usually we call it the comparison, or simply we can call them relational operators. So there are two types of equality checks, that is double equal to and triple equal to. Double equal to is used for structural comparison, and triple equal to is used for referential comparison. So basically, what is comparison and referential comparison? Comparison is nothing but structural equality, which means two objects have equal content. Like it doesn't take care of the order. And referential equality is the reference need to be equal. Like the reference to the addresses need to be equal. That is that is to say the objects are contained in the same memory location, which leads us to the fact that the pointers which refer to the same object. So it means simply that two objects should share the same memory address. This session it ends at 9, 7 to 9. Just a minute. Now we'll just see how do we implement the difference between the structural comparison and referential comparison. We'll create a variable of val type called authors, and we'll create, and we have a function called set of function to create sets. So Shakespeare, and just passing some random values, and Hemingway, and then Twain, and we'll create another variable of val type called writers, and we'll alter the order now. So Twain, Shakespeare. Oh, okay, and then we have Hemingway, and we'll print this uh, like authors equal to writers, and print authors triple equals to writers. Okay, we'll run this. So it has written true and false, which means when you write authors equal to double equal to writers, then it checks whether these two sets match. Like It just checks for the values and not the order. That is, Shakespeare exists in this, Hemingway and Twain exist. So it returns true. Whereas the referential comparison, uh, that is authors triple equal to writers, is false because these two sets, the values in these two sets do not share the same memory address. Uh, because it doesn't match. The memory addresses of these two sets doesn't match. So it gives the false. That's the difference between double equals to and triple equals to. Okay, I hope this is also done for you. Could everyone do it? Just respond yes or no in the chat. So that's great if you haven't done. Okay, yes, nice. Now I'll share you the quiz link based on the concepts we have learned today. Wait, today we'll be solving two quizzes because they're really short and you'll be earning two badges in this session. Okay, I shared one quiz link. And I'll be sharing second quiz link too. There are just 10 questions in total. So when you answer 4 out of 5 in each quiz, you will receive a badge. So at the end of this session, you'll be receiving two badges. You can just brag it to your friends, posting it on LinkedIn or any other social media handle. Okay. So once the quiz is done, just put a thumbs up in the chat when you've received the badge, and then we'll be sharing the attendance form too. Has anyone completed doing the quiz? Can you respond in the chat? Yeah, okay. So there is just one last thing left. That is conditional expressions, right? How do we represent conditional expressions in Kotlin? So in Kotlin, we basically do not have any ternary operator. So like in I think, yeah, in C language, we have the ternary operator condition, and then we specify the expression one and expression two like that. But here, uh, we use like if to use the, I mean, to give the conditional expressions or to write the conditional expressions. That is, you just create a function called, wait, let's create here also a function called max.
Anjali,
Yeah, Sharmila.
can we wind it up early? Actually, these fellows are having internal tomorrow.
Oh, okay then, sure.
They just messaged me
Uh,
now that they are having
okay.
internal.
This is just two lines. I'll just wind it
Ah,
up.
sure, sure.
Uh, wait then, and then I'll attendance form too. And then so while I'm explaining, they can just fill it in the meantime. Just a minute. Yeah, you people can fill the attendance form too in the meantime. Okay, we'll just wind up. So there's a function called max, um, and a variable int of type int, and a variable b of type of type int, and then we equate it. I mean, if a variable a is of type int, and if a variable b of type int, then we check this condition. If a greater than b, then we print a, else b. So print ln. So max function of. So I'm passing some value 99 and minus 42. So let's give a main function. Okay, so this is it. So in a main function, you have created a function called max, and then this is the actual condition we usually learn in C. That is, we give the condition and check whether it satisfies the given expressions, or in conventional ternary operators are like this. and then, or sometimes it can be like this too, condition, uh, then else. This can also be a ternary operator too. So when it is of when a variable A is of int type and B is of int type, then you just check if this condition A greater than B is satisfied. If this is satisfied, you print A, else you print B. So I've passed the values to the max function, that is 99, and the function was declared. So these are the values I've passed, and it returns 99. This is the conditional operator. So that's it for today. Thank you so much, guys, for attending the session today and patiently listening. So you can just fill the forms so that your attendance will be recorded and we'll be giving you the certificates at the end of these sessions. And so that's for today. Thank you so much. Once you have filled the form and complete both the quizzes, you can leave the meeting. Thank you so much for attending. Before leaving, fill the forms because based on this, we'll be giving the participation certificates of Android Study Jams. So please do fill the form before leaving.